Opening punch. That first line is chef's kiss. It slices right into the emotional core and sets the tone immediately. Character dynamics. Mark Sullivan is so perfectly smarmy. You nailed the patronizing executive type. Reveal of the twist. The slow unfurling of Laura's connection to Sullivan Wellness is timed just right, earned and satisfying. Tone and rhythm. Your pacing is great. Each paragraph leads into the next with momentum. It has that just one more line effect. That final line, "This wasn't revenge, not yet. This was a rewrite." What a mic drop, so good. A couple of light touch-ups you might consider. Typos and polish. There are a few tiny things, e.g., off the rack heck should be off the rack, but nothing major. Just cleanup level. Slight expansion. The emotional weight, in that moment right after she's dismissed, could be deepened just a hair more. Maybe one sensory detail, a flickering overhead light, the faint buzz of a co-worker's phone. Something to root her moment of silent fury a bit deeper. Ideas for next steps if you're continuing. Laura's strategic comeback at the retreat could be epic. Maybe she plays it cool at first, subtly undermining Mark's narrative until the reveal becomes unavoidable. You could also show some quiet alliances forming, someone in the office who's seen Laura's real work and starts to question things. The Wilder deck, just in case there's a version you'd prefer for the presentation. I thanked him, but declined. My version was already the final one, they just didn't know it yet. The rest of the day unfolded like a carefully directed play. Every moment choreographed, every detail sharpened with intent. Mark kept his distance, orbiting the edges of conversation, clearly unsure whether to retreat or regroup. Meredith looked like she wanted to disappear, and Henry, bless him, kept muttering, "Wow," under his breath, like he'd accidentally stepped into a Netflix drama. By sunset, everyone had settled into their rooms. I stood on the terrace, a glass of champagne in hand, watching the ocean fold over itself in slow, deliberate waves. For the first time in a long time, I felt the shape of my own power. Quiet, patient, undeniable. Natalie joined me, her steps soft on the stone. "They're impressed," she said simply. "They should be," I replied. She nodded, then after a pause, "And Mark?" I turned slightly. Mark finally knows what he failed to see. A warning, a reminder, a truth, that I didn't just belong at this retreat. It was mine, and this time no one could erase me. But when Mark opened his mouth, something in me responded before I could stop it. Maybe it was years of swallowed words finally surfacing, or maybe it was just time. Either way, I didn't regret it. Now, in the hush of morning, with the sea, breathing steadily below and the garden alive with color and wings, I felt lighter. Not vindicated exactly, but visible. Known. The villa's quiet hum resumed around me. Distant kitchen sounds, the rustle of linens being changed, someone laughing softly near the pool. The retreat would continue, the business of bonding and branding and future planning rolling forward. But it would do so on my terms. I turned from the railing and walked back inside. There was still work to do. Final sessions, strategy reviews, quiet one-on-ones with people who now looked at me differently. Some with curiosity, some with guilt, a few with hope. Let them come, I thought, pulling on my jacket. Let them ask their questions, extend their hands, recalibrate their stances. I would meet them all where they stood. And for those still deciding whether I belonged at the center of the room or just happened to pass through it, I had 3 words for them, unsaid but certain. Watch me build. Voice and authenticity. Laura's voice is strong, sincere, and clear. She's not performing strength. She's embodying it. That distinction makes this land deeply. Emotional arc. The structure moves seamlessly from inner turmoil to confrontation to transformation. It's earned. Symbolism and imagery. Bare feet on stone, the wind, the ocean deck, the infinity pool. These elements add poetic gravitas without being heavy-handed. Dialogue and dynamics. The exchanges with Carlos and Mark are grounded. Carlos is the steady support. Mark is the contrite antagonist, humanized but not absolved. If you're open to tweaks, opening timestamp. The line. Mark tried to explain himself. I couldn't stay silent because 21:59. Is that timestamp intentional? If not part of a stylistic structure, e.g., a journal entry, transcript, or screenplay, it might trip a reader. If it is intentional, you might consider threading that formatting throughout, i.e. our time-coded transitions. Reinforcing the title theme, if there's one. You might already have a title in mind, but phrases like A Quiet Storm, The Mirror, or Never Shrink Again carry thematic weight and could be title contenders. If this is an excerpt from something larger, consider anchoring back to one of those. One beat of vulnerability mid-speech. Around the section. And what I found was that the playing field doesn't level, not on its own. You could layer in a fleeting beat of doubt or burnout, even one sentence, before pivoting to resolve. That small emotional dip could deepen reader empathy. Mark's transformation. The final exchange with Mark is satisfying, especially his line. Not because you caught me, but because you showed me. Consider one line from Laura that softly acknowledges that growth can be real without implying forgiveness is required. That boundary is Chef's kiss and would strengthen the ending. Final note. If this is part of a longer piece, I'd love to see where it fits, because this scene reads like the emotional crescendo of something bigger. But even as a standalone piece, it's powerful, cinematic, and speaks to every woman who has ever dimmed her light to fit into a system that wasn't built with her in mind. Would you like help formatting this as a short story, script, or even polishing it for submission to something? Or are you working this into a novel or memoir?